been different Venoms.
There have been different
alien thing that like takes over people.
There's Venom, Carnage, Scream, Toxin.
Yeah. Well, and then there's like the black Spider-Man suit when it's taken over by Venom.
Yeah, there's a couple of different variations of how this works. In the 70 years that character has been a thing.
Okay, I don't know everything on Venom, but I know at least 2 of them.
Okay, well...
3 of them. No, 4.
4 of them?
Yes.
Okay, well...
Now, a girl one, Spider-Man when he gets taken over one, Carnage, and then Venom.
Alright, you ready to start this conversation?
Yes.
Alright, let's do this. Alright, everybody. This is episode 69 of the KAAMP, aptly named the Orgycast by Miss Dickless Rick herself. I was saying I wanted to do a group episode for the end of the year, which is a normal thing that I do. Ruck's usually involved in that, and we've done 4 of them. The next one will be 4, I think. Anyway, we've done a few of them. And she said, "Oh, you know, Orgycast, that's what you should call it." And I was like, "Well, yes,
of course,
of course, that's exactly what we should call this absolute thing, whatever it is." So, you know, I sent a question into the ether, and I wrangled about 25 people in that Instagram group chat, and most of you are sitting here. There should be a few people dropping in here in a bit, but right now this is what we got. And truthfully, one of the reasons I want to do this is because I wanted to showcase what kind of wide variety of talent Knoxville has and the people I could gather in front of my microphones and how wide variety of that I could gather. So, if we could get some folks to sound off about who they are and what they do. Brandi, if we could start with you, because you're the only person sitting in my living room right now that hasn't been on the hasn't physically been on the show before. You did your episode with Will, that was via teleconference.
True.
But now we have the luxury of doing this in person, so if you would lead us off.
Word. So I am Brandi Augustus. I am, so the job that pays me is I'm a coordinator at Highlander Research and Education Center. I am also the interim co-executive director of the Appalachian Community Fund, which is a local granting organization. But I am also a stand-up comedian, a radical storyteller. Here in Knoxville. I've been doing that for about 5 years. I mean, time is relative because it feels like it's been forever. And also, I am deathly allergic to cats.
Oh, do I need to lock her up in the bedroom?
You know, I mean, do what you gonna do. Like, the fact that the cat exists is just gonna be a thing.
All right, well, I will tell you that I slept the shit out of this living room yesterday.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But yeah, I'll wrangle her for you.
Yeah,
no big deal.
But I'm like, as long as I don't touch her, I'll be fine. But just like being in the atmosphere with cats, like my body will start to react. So that will be my cue to go.
Okay.
So
if you go, if you do some of that, I'll know. All right, I will know. Adam?
I don't have as much like impressive stuff to say.
We know you like to understate yourself.
Okay, I'm Adam Rowe. I am a visual artist, and I write music too. That's it.
That's a really simple way to put that.
That's it. That's everything.
That's
Next.
everything. Yeah. No dry humor from this guy.
Oh,
And Derek.
Well, yeah, I'm Derek Rucker. I do all kinds of mediums, from music to painting to doing things on a lathe with woods and acrylics to, at this point, coloring surfaces of CAD models to do augmented reality things with them. So, yeah, all across the board. And then that's what's paying me right now is
That's the job that pays.
coloring CAD surfaces and splitting surfaces and putting them into augmented reality space.
Making things look good on screens, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Chance?
Walking around with iPads.
Chance Losher. I also go by Professor Rainbow. I mostly do highly involved in like the live art festival circuit. Printmaker by trade, but do a lot of mixed media. But in the past year, I've recently joined Relay Ridge community print shop here, so I've been getting back to like mostly doing like monotype and silkscreen and coloring in it live at concerts.
Yeah, and in your previous episode, you detailed how you've got back into the printing thing. So, if y'all want a good recent listen, you can hit up that episode.
Well, I get to be introducing myself.
Do you want to introduce yourself? You in the room? You part of this conversation?
Well, I also was snoring during one of your episodes.
Well, yeah. Well, people know you were snoring in that episode because we talked about you snoring in that episode. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to introduce yourself? Go ahead and say your name. Tell people what you like to do artistically.
I'm Elliot. I like to tell jokes.
You like to tell jokes.
Come on, Elliot.
All right, and I guess if I need to introduce myself, my name is Thomas Zachary. I'm the host of the KAAMP, which is this wonderful program we're putting together right now, and I'm also a visual media artist of sorts. I paint, I draw, I 3D sculpt and print and do all those jazzy things. You can find me on the Instagrams and whatnot, and we'll all plug our stuff at the end of the episode. So, friends, I really appreciate y'all being here. This is a luxury for me, and I hope y'all enjoy it as well. Where are we at creatively today in Knoxville as ourselves? How are we doing today?
I was in the print shop today, actually, making some new prints. That was pretty fun.
I like the fact that it's a Saturday and I don't have a show, but I've had things to do. Because a lot of the times when I have something to do, it's usually a show. And
Right.
my anxiety is high. That's not healthy to be like high anxiety all the goddamn time. So, I like that I just kind of got to kick it today and just kind of take it slow.
What were you doing before you got here? You were at the bottom, right?
Yeah, it was the bottom, the grand anniversary of the bottom. I'm also the president of the board of directors for the bottom.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the bottom is a black-owned bookstore and community center in East Knoxville. And it is a space that was created by Dr. Nkechi Alameen, who's now down in Atlanta. But the bottom used to be a neighborhood in Knoxville that was displaced due to urban renewal / gentrification. So now it is a community center that has been created to welcome like black folks back to that specific area and give us a place that we can call our own because we've had so much taken from us. So it's a bookstore, it's a community center, they have a Sew It Sell It program where they teach youth how to create like items like garments and bags and things and then sell them at a market day. And these are not like $5-10 items. I'm talking about like they $45 shirts and they sell out.
Good.
And I'm like, and it gives them a skill, and everybody walks away with a what do you call that, sewing machine. And it's a skill that I don't have, but it's amazing. So
That's cool.
Ruck, you picked up a sewing machine during the pandemic and did a little thing or two.
Yeah, I've done a few garments. It's not easy. I'll give it to them. Yeah, there's a reason why you end up paying $50 for a shirt.
I used to work at a
So-
t-shirt print shop too,
Oh,
and
man.
like
Yeah, I
that
can-
part of it's also expensive.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
You don't think of what all goes into you just getting just a t-shirt.
Mhm.
There's a lot of hands that go into making that. A lot of time. So.
And then, you can get a t-shirt on Temu and enforce child labor a little bit.
I was gonna say, at least there's child labor. The children.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's what I like when he makes me gifts, I know exactly where that labor came from.
right?
What are we talking about?
Child labor. I like it when you make me stuff. You're really sweet.
Big smile.
Yeah.
Big smile.
You're cool. That's the point of the story. So, do we have any works in progress? Anything about town or at the house we're really trying to crank on right now?
It's literally just been work for me, man. That's why I added the whole just coloring services. There's been one part in this whole. There's 256 parts, and it's just been kicking my ass. So, finally got it the other day to where it's kind of working. So,
Where you feel presentable?
yeah, like I said, I mean, I feel like I've got a few more days of just refining where I can just take it in there and be like, all right, it's done. Like, here you go. Where's the next step? So, beyond that, there's not been a lot of art going on, man.
Well, I nervous painted that piece the other day, like real hard. I channeled a lot of not peaceful energy into this thing just to make something positive out of it.
Yeah.
And
You got to do that.
yeah, whew, I needed that therapy real bad that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. Adam, you had a show recently.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Where was it? No, I'm just kidding.
Where was it?
That's good.
It was. You had to get high to get there. That's for sure.
It was a while back. What was it? June?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Up in the Sun Sphere.
I had stuff in the Sun Sphere.
I remember.
Yeah, you were there.
Come on, Ellie.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
He was probably the only kid in the gallery that whole day.
Oh, might have been. I think the youngest. Yeah, so I did do that. And I'm working on a bunch of other stuff where I don't have a plan for exactly where it's going to go. So I'm hoping that's going to magically fall in my lap.
Yeah, it'll sort itself out. Given a long enough time scale, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, just working on a bunch of things. Don't have an exact plan for it, which is usually not my process. It's usually quite the opposite, which ends up being a problem, actually, because almost every time I get a chance to show stuff somewhere, for some reason my reaction is not like, well, what do I already have finished sitting around here? It's like, oh, okay, start from scratch, 20 pieces, yeah, 4 weeks. Okay, yeah, if I don't sleep or eat or, yeah. Yeah, so that's it for me.
Are you working on anything specific, or is it just like a little bit of everything?
It's just general art, man. No, it's all it's all very specific. I mean, I've got like a video project that I'm working on with a guitar duo in New York and California. So
They picked somebody almost right in the middle.
So Tennessee is the natural bridge. I think that's the layman's term, the natural bridge between California and New York. So that, and I just finished a couple of pieces for. Okay, so just don't ask too many questions after this. Like, minimize the follow-ups, but it's a couple of pieces for the joint mathematics meeting in San Francisco early next year. No. So it's like a math related kind of thing. It's
So this is definitely going to have a visual impact that I should not talk about right now.
I mean, you can,
Since I should limit the follow-up questions. Just wait and see is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, it's done. That's the good thing.
Oh, so this is just a tease.
I guess so.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I've entered it in this thing, and it's pending acceptance.
Do you have a lot of competition to show at this particular event?
There's competition for sure.
So it's a jury thing?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, but I mean, I had something in it earlier this year for 2023, so this will be 2024. Yeah, so I'm working on that, and a continuation. The other big thing I'm working on. Y'all can cut me off, by the way. Unless you're actually just use this time to think of your answer, and I'll just keep yammering on.
You're so polite to the other guests.
I'm continuing something that I started last year. My mind has been totally filled, no pun intended, with this math thing called space filling curves. It's It's this really cool thing. Look it up. I'm not the best person in the world to describe it, but the super what's the average IQ of your listener? No, I'm just kidding.
I wish I had that metric. Oh my god,
it's way higher than mine. But so if you imagine, I'll tell you why it's so fascinating to me. So imagine if you have enough of something that's one-dimensional to where it approached infinity. So if you've got enough of it, it's basically two-dimensional. So if you have enough of a one-dimensional line that fills a space, or really a plane, then you've got something that's two-dimensional. So, yeah.
I'm with
There's
it.
this
I do
whole thing.
follow.
So I wrote this paper for the Bridges Math and Art Conference, and got to present it in July in Halifax, Canada. Really sweet. Got to meet like 4 or 5 specific YouTube idols, which like really specific.
I can tell you're
things.
happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing. So I'm continuing that work, making a bunch of more pieces with it that go along with the paper, and maybe I'm starting a new thing like, hey, come for the art, stay for the math paper that I'm going to which would be fine. That would be super fun. So
I like the sound of that.
yeah.
So, no, you're done with the listing bands?
No. A couple of those are part of this
Okay.
thing too, because you can do a special thing
Ooh.
with a specific type of space filling curve, which I've decided to call a surface tiling curve, and you can do something with certain shapes to make listing bands covered in those designs.
Look at you. You just stacking shit on top of other shit.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool to me. I'm here for it. I'm excited. I want to see it.
Either stacking stuff or
Oh, boy. There's a knock at the door. Please come in.
I just have no new ideas, and they just keep compounding. So.
What up? John is here, everybody.
Hello.
John, there's a folding chair behind the couch here that's green. You're more than welcome to grab it, sit on the floor. You're a grown man. Make your own decisions.
All right.
That's how I respect everyone's autonomy. Tell them they're grown. Make your own decisions.
Can I eat ice cream?
Yeah, you can get some ice cream. Shit. John, so you walked into Adam telling us about his latest shenanigans. So if you would regale us with who you are, what you do, and what you've been working on a little bit lately, that'd be cool.
Okay, sure. I'm John Starkey, @Starkey_art on Instagram. I run the Knoxville Drink and Draw meetup group. It's kind of a casual art meetup. We do something like every couple weeks at different venues around Knoxville, and I don't know, some people can come and kind of work on their own thing, just socialize, or we'll throw out ideas and do collabs and stuff. It's pretty fun. Other than that, I do art around Knoxville, done a few art shows, and I'm just kind of working to improve.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Let me interrupt. John, does my face look familiar to you? We haven't met in person.
Big problem. Because we did a self-portrait challenge early on lockdown, and so we know each other from that, but have never met face to face. I've been meaning to get out and see her. Yeah.
This is exactly the shit. This is how I do people right here, Brandi.
I love it.
Yeah, I
I've
just
been
be like,
meaning to
hey,
get out
y'all
and
show
see
up.
at work though. I've just been busy, but soon,
Yeah.
I'll catch it.
Nice to see you in person.
Yeah, to meet you in person.
This is exactly the way I enjoy making the world a smaller, more beautiful place. So hell yeah, this is good.
I like how he gave you 2 options to sit, and you were like, "Fuck that." How the fuck your options?
He said, "I am grown. I did make my own decisions. Thank you very much." And that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
So have we? I'll tell y'all right now that I've had some hitches in my creative giddy up as of late. So is anybody else experiencing hitches in their creative giddy ups?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, not so much the creative part, but just Knoxville venues not allowing live painters.
Oh yeah, that is a huge hitch in our giddy up
And
right
I've
now.
realized I don't think I've done one art thing in Knoxville this entire year.
I don't think you have either.
Yeah.
No, because all the stuff you've done most has been at the cavern,
Wait.
right?
Yeah, everything I do is not in Knoxville anymore.
Why don't they allow it?
So what I heard, the concourse specifically is not allowing it because some painters were making messes and graffitied the bathroom.
This was like 2.5 years ago, by the way.
Because no live artist is going to go
Is ever gonna
paint
do
the
that.
walls in a bathroom. Like, it makes
Yeah.
absolutely no sense.
You know what that graffiti was, Brandi? I'll tell you, because
What was it?
it was in the men's restroom over a urinal. It said "Your ad here" in like a big thick acrylic paint marker. And you know what? They've got the tin, like the corrugated sheet metal, over the
Yeah.
urinals and stuff in those bathrooms, and it didn't look bad.
Those bathrooms are also like the worst bathrooms I've ever seen in a venue.
They're pretty gnarly,
Yeah.
but that was skillful. That was skillful indeed. Like you had that.
So what you're saying, it added value to the space.
I feel as if it was a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
Your ad here is not like, you know.
But they blame that on live painters, so that was one of the reasons for not allowing it anymore. I just found this out through people.
Yeah, he and I had this
That's
conversation the other
hard.
day. Yeah, it's foolish, and the management there is also a bit foolish at times.
Yeah.
And that's the nicest way I think we can possibly say that.
Yeah,
so.
That is, and we should move on because I have stories, but this is that's not this
No,
podcast.
it's a different
Yeah,
podcast.
not-
We
yeah.
can sip tea and talk shit in another episode.
Yes.
Sound dirty.
Other than that, I have been doing stuff outside of Knoxville all year, like normal. But
Yeah, you want to drop some details about the Papadosio stuff at the caverns? That was so cool.
yeah, I just a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, Papadosio had a festival at the caverns here in Tennessee. 2 days, got to go paint. I think there was maybe like 6 painters there, which was the first time caverns allowed it all year because they're also going through a thing of not allowing painters because other people's mistakes. But it was awesome, and like I work with Papadosio a lot. They use my art in their live shows and their visuals, and I got to see that projected like on the cavern ceiling, all the walls like completely like 3-dimensionally, like during the shows.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was a great experience, and yeah, I was in the print shop recently because I've been doing this Faced series, doing these monotype backgrounds, screen printing on them. The first 3 I did were super popular, so I just made 3 more. I'm painting for them. Let's see. In Memphis here in like 2 weeks, Cincinnati in November, and then Chattanooga in December.
Speaking of Memphis, have you seen any of the artwork that came out of Paint Memphis this weekend?
I saw Curtis's.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much else because I guess I know a lot of people last year, but I guess a lot of people I know didn't go this year or just haven't posted their stuff
Man,
yet.
there's killer stuff coming out.
Really?
Yeah. Curtis painted Mr. Toledo, which was really cool. He did a really stylized version of that guy, and it turned out super slick. And then Lawrence, he did a rendition of his isometric or his 3D letters that looks really, really cool. And then Patty and a couple other people threw out some heat. So Paint Memphis was killer this year. If anybody wants to keep up with that, it was super, super nice.
Thomas and I both got denied.
I wasn't gonna go that far,
But I understand, like, they're amazing people.
yeah, there was I
Well, my
definitely
most recent
feel
mural also got taken down after a month again, so.
I definitely feel like my skills aren't up to par to be on that event after I saw the things that were happening. But a lot of people that I really look up to put out some killer art at that event, so I was super happy to see all that.
Yeah. I think the day after we filmed my last episode, I found out that my art had got taken down from Sevierville.
Oh yeah, the mural park picture
Yeah.
place. That I'm still kind of upset for you
'Cause I was
about
like
that.
promoting it, and then by the time the episode came out, it already wasn't there.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
So it was
Brandi,
in
you gonna like this.
Sevierville at the Country Barn Art Park. And like I said, I
Replacement
go by
Dolly
Professor
artwork.
Rainbow. My art, I use the rainbow like spectrum.
He
and
real
everything.
colorful.
Yeah, it's very bright. So I did the sugar skull because that's what they wanted. So I did it. They got complaints from locals, is what they told me. So they had to take it down. And they said they were going to try to put it back up or move it somewhere else. I haven't.
They should have put it in the men's restroom.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Sevierville, locals complaining about rainbows. I think you can draw a lot of conclusions from.
They in one of the most rainbow towns in the country, kind of, you know.
I mean, there's 2 Trump stores within like a mile of that.
Well, the polar opposites are represented, so let's not lie about that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of goodwill in that place that you think would spread a little bit, but I guess not.
But yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah, I told them, I was like, don't get rid of it. Like, I'll take it. I'll put it up somewhere else. But they're like, no, like, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, no, but you got 30 days to figure it out or give me my shit back.
Right?
Like, honestly, like, you ain't just gonna sit on it. This is still my art.
It's
So
like they paid me, so it's like that's cool. But it's also it was up like a month, which is like one of my first murals in Strong Alley a few years ago. It was up like a month before it was taken down because people were putting swastikas on it and stuff.
what can I say?
Whatever the hell you want.
Are you like? Is it like just dicks in ass like that you're painting?
There's literally
Nothing
nothing
graphic about it.
hey, about to me.
Nothing at all.
No, the mural was cool. I saw the Strong Alley mural you did. It was just like
It was.
It's just literally that it has the
But
rainbow
the
color.
dicks had rainbows on them. Got it. Oh,
yeah.
Like,
so they don't like colors.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
That's
They
it.
don't like that. Yeah.
yeah,
They
they,
just don't
literally
like
it's a
colors.
literally sugar skull that's like stained glassed with all the colors of the rainbow.
And,
Yeah.
and Brandi, to your question, I marked this shit explicit for a reason.
Okay.
So
But
speak
I
freely,
should say
please.
it's an explicit.
Yeah.
art because people keep taking it down when it's in public, so might as well.
I mean, fuck them is how I draw this conclusion. That's on them, the uncultured swine.
I have a comedy bit where I talk about my son who's trans, and normally I get like really great like reception from it or whatever. When I was in
That bit
Maryville,
kills.
I walked a couple in Maryville, and they waited till I got done or whatever, and then as I was walking, like leaving the stage, they were walking out, and I didn't know that this had all happened or whatever because I was kind of like on the high from my set. And when I was walking back, somebody was like, "He tried to slam the door, but it had one of them actuators on it, so it was just like shh."
That's karma right there. Be like, no.
Yeah, but it was for Don't Tell Comedy, and he wrote a review, like disparaging me or whatever on it, and I was like, "Oh, look at you, hating diversity. It's
Offended and
okay."
shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and out yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, to answer your original question, yeah, some creative stuff in the Knoxville area has kept me down this year.
Yeah.
Like I said, I get out of here, I do stuff all over, so.
Yeah, you travel. You get around.
It would be nice to do some stuff in Knoxville again, but.
Well, this is the extent of the shit I've been doing in Knoxville for a hot minute, other than,
Because we did that group show last, August.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's the last time I've shown anything here.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't tried to do anything about town or curating shows because I don't want to deal with no restaurant or bar managers or anything like that. It's not the environment I want to display my art in. I kind of talked about this a little bit at the last Oak Knoxville spaces kind of thing, where we got together with local business owners and venue owners and talked about the struggles of coming at things from their side, coming at things from my side, and trying to find some middle ground or at least understanding. And that was a really productive conversation with everybody that showed up, and I was happy to be a part of it. But this is the exact reason I'm trying to turn my garage into a damn recording studio / art gallery space. That is a space that I have utter control over 100%, and I can make sure it suits the exact needs that I never really had suited when I was showing art around town. And I don't have to coordinate with anybody other than myself, so it's if I'm yanking my own chain, then I'm the one screwing the situation up, not somebody holding a situation over my head or yanking me around.
I got 2 questions.
Shoot.
First, for visual artists, so y'all talked about the spaces where you can't be. Where are some spaces in Knoxville that y'all can be? And then also, are you familiar with Jaleria with Spacecraft? And
Yeah, she and I do Oak things together.
Oh, where?
That she was one of the organizers of that particular event.
Hell
yeah. Yeah, she's awesome, and
Yeah,
I'll have her on the program eventually for sure.
Yeah.
I've talked to her about it. She knows it's coming.
Yeah.
But man, the thing is, there are some really cooperative bars and restaurants and stuff around town that.
It's just not
you
ideal.
okay?
There's a lot of great galleries for sure. That's just not where my art fits.
Same. Yeah.
My art's
that's the
very
issue.
like
Yeah.
I do live painting a lot, so it's like color changing lights and black lights, and it's more about being in that experience. And it's like, just showing it at bars, which I've done. It's okay. I will plug Relay Ridge because they also have a gallery. That's a really cool space, and I know they are. I don't know how far they're booked, but I know they're like taking applications for First Fridays and stuff, and they do like open studios. So like I have a chance to like show some of my print stuff there, but I haven't yet. But
but you will.
Yeah, well, because the last time they did it, I was out of town, or like I said, most of my stuff I take to shows, sell on the spot, so I never have that much art on hand to like do a big show.
So is it, when you do a show, is it just you for your show, or is it like a collective of artists?
It depends. A lot of times there's multiple painters.
Yeah.
So it'll be like 2, 3, 4. I mean, I've been at shows like 12 live painters or more before.
Where at Highlander one year, I had a friend come up from Florida who's a painter, and there were some vocal artists, musical artists that were like singing, doing their stuff or whatever, and he was painting while they were doing that, and it was just like a portrait that was dedicated to it. So has there ever been, or would you even be interested in doing something like that, like maybe like partnering with artists of different mediums who do have access to spaces?
Oh, yeah.
Just to even just get in there,
Yeah. And I've done stuff like that. I'm definitely open to it. It's just
finding that the sweet spot for that working relationship is really
my
difficult.
Artwork is very psychedelic, very neat. Like it's very much geared towards like festival kids, concert kids, like the psychedelic community. Other kids love my art too, honestly. But like, it is weird finding a niche of being like, hey, I'll show art here, but then I do it, and people are just like,
It's a weird thing, kind of making super colorful art, because you would think, oh, pretty colors, everybody loves pretty colors, and then you make this bright, colorful thing, and people are like, what the fuck?
Like some people are like, oh my god, this is amazing, kids like, this is great. And then you have other adults like, this should be banned and taken down. You're literally upset over colors, like
things you see every day.
Yeah. But yeah, I am open to it, and I want to do more stuff, but it is finding like the right sort of working relationship of like and venue and spot and like audience for it.
I've found that a lot of event managers that like to coordinate with visual artists for whatever's going on in their venue, they don't really understand the needs that we have for like lighting or space or what our footprint is. And even though like it would be our best practices to explain that to them, even when we do, and I know these are conversations that you and I have both had with people in management positions, that it's like, hey, we need one 110 power outlet, and we need a 6x6 square on the floor to set up all of our stuff, and don't worry about everything else because I got it. That just seems to fly over some people's heads. Like, and there are plenty of really good event managers and staff out there that I've had this conversation with that have accommodated me perfectly. So I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. Yeah. But usually, if it doesn't happen perfectly and everybody's clear from the get-go that this is what I need and everybody's good, then it's just like a spirally shit show of like never being understood.
Is it something that you give them in writing, or is it just a conversation that you have with them?
If I have a history with the person, I can usually knock it out over a conversation. But if that's the first couple of times I'm working with somebody, or if it's an establishment I've never worked with before, I try to be as detailed as possible from the get-go in black and white. Like, I will send an email and say, hey, these are my recommendations for what I need access to. These are the bare minimum things I need access to. Or it's one of those things like, how can what do I have access to in your space, and then let's talk about what I can do with those things. So that's kind of like what I did for the Psych Show series, and these two gentlemen were involved in that. So when I did that at Next Level, I said, hey guys, I got 6 artists I want to display in here with like 5 pieces apiece. Can we use the whole room? Can I display 30, 35, 40 pieces in this room? And they're like, yeah, how you going to do it? And I said, well, we're going to hang some shit over there. We're going to hang some shit over here. We're going to put shit on that wall. We're going to put stuff on this wall, this wall, this wall, this wall, And they were very accommodating, and that was super cool. And I did some stuff that, normally they probably wouldn't let any old person do if I didn't come in there and be like, hey, this is what I want to do, and like confidently understand how I wanted to execute that. because they've got a little half wall that separates their tap room area from their brewing area. I strung stuff up over top of that little half wall and lit it from the front from some of the pillars in the room. So there was basically no added footprint to what was already in the room, and everything was up, out of the way, properly lit.
Did you video all of that?
I have video of it, yeah. That's
because that'll be something dope to show another venue that you're trying to court or whatever. Like, look, this is what we did, and it wasn't damaged, and you know, like this is how we utilize the space. Because sometimes if people can't envision it, they don't want to do it.
right. Even though I clearly explain all the things as best I can, seeing it is also helpful. Yeah, but that was Sock Show 1. It worked out really, really well, and I used that room in a really good way. And it ended up being a really appealing show, in my opinion, because there was illustrative work that was black and white, there was hyper colorful work, there was surrealist work, some of Chance's work, some of my work, some of Derek's work. Like the mix and variety all complemented itself really, really well, and I was happy about that. Have it all in one room for a weekend, so everybody could see the variety of things, stuff that I would all consider under the blanket of psychedelic art. That's why the art show series is called Psych Show. So that's 2 of those have went over really, really well, and the third one will be in my garage, where I can control everything about it. Everything.
That sounds better to me, honestly.
Yeah, I know. And the thing that really gets me about promoting the next Psych Show is like, oh yeah, the place is called the Weird Gallery. It's in my garage. Like, so you know, it's as grassroots as it can possibly get because it's in my garage.
Valid.
Well, you know, bars and stuff, you also just have people who are like, hey, I'm just going to go drink, and they're like, what's going on? Like, I'm not here for this, or maybe some people do interact with it, but like, you know, it is a thing of, you know, here in your garage, like, oh, I'm going to this, like, it's more of a party.
It's intentional.
Atmosphere.
Yes, exactly. It's a dedicated, intentional space for the viewing and commerce of art. Yes, 100%. And that's why I'm doing it, because I can't control that aspect of the experience if I'm out in somebody else's venue and they've got food, drink, live music, whatever the hell. I have to fight for eyeballs.
Imagine doing comedy in a space like that.
I would not.
There's a place, a venue in Knoxville called Alley Ray's. Great restaurant, really great food, probably one of the best menus that I've come across. But the people are not there for comedy.
Do they have a lot of TVs in the dining room?
No.
It's on Broadway, right?
Yeah, it's on
Broadway. They have
Broadway.
an outdoor seating.
Yeah.
I've never been inside, but yeah. I used to live like right next to that.
It's a really, really hard room to work with.
It's because you're fighting for the attention, right?
I mean, honestly, you're fighting against servers. You're fighting against just the conversations that people want to have with the people at their tables. So I actually came out because it's our family dinner. We did not come to hear your dick stories.
And you got a few good ones.
Oh my God! They would just listen to them.
But yeah, I definitely I can imagine, but have never experienced that particular struggle. But mine is pretty rough sometimes, so I can only imagine what adding public speaking to that does. I very much have tried to figure out how I can fix this struggle, and removing my craft from that venue is definitely the way I fix that struggle, and that's really the only way I know to do it. Because there's only so much I can do that I can control.
Or we can buy a venue.
Well, I was going to tell Oak the other day that the damned old Goodwill over here on Western next to La Fiesta is up for lease, and I don't know how that would work, but it sounded like a really good idea at the time. I really want to have a day job that pays me enough to rent a really small industrial space to where I can just have art shows there on the weekends. That would be my midlife goal, I guess. I don't know, something I would like to accomplish in the next few years. Definitely, have a space that's outside of my house that I can control and have cool stuff in, and making sure people like ourselves are represented in this space. Yeah. So we'll see. That's what I'm shooting for, everybody. Brandi, where's your favorite comedy venue around town? Is it Central Cinema?
Yes, I can say that confidently now because I now run a mic at Central Cinema.
Hey.
Because before I'm like, fuck no, this is my second favorite venue. But no, Central Cinema, something really special about Central Cinema. And when people come there like specifically just to laugh. You know, it's always like really good vibes.
Well, I feel like that room from the get-go has always been intentional for entertainment. Like, nobody's questioning what a cinema is for.
No.
And the seating setup is purposeful and everything is there for a reason. So if you step in that room, you intend to be paying attention. So, yeah, definitely. That's an intentional space for performing or consuming media.
Yeah.
For sure.
It would be really nice if we had an actual comedy club here. I know that there used to be a comedy club.
Side splitters, yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's what I hear. But, you know, we don't have that anymore. And it's a lot of times we have to find, like, gyms. Like, well, you can't find gyms like Central Cinema, but, you know, there's a lot of brewery shit. It's, Don't Tell is doing a really good job with finding like just obscure venues like hair salons, bookstores, vitamin stores, or whatever.
What, vitamin stores? Wait a minute.
Yeah, like there's a vitamin store down on Union Ave that we did a show in. Like, that was some fucking GNC shit. Yeah.
Like Eddie's.
Yeah.
Right next to
Yeah.
Nothing Fancy.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the whole deal about Don't Tell stuff is like they're popping up in those random spots, right? And they're like really limited info on the front end. They tell you where you gotta go.
You buy a ticket, and then you'll find out the date of what the venue is, and the lineup is a surprise lineup. Like so.
Oh, so it's just about all a surprise until
Yeah,
I like that.
You'll know what area it is. It'll be like, oh, South Knoxville, Happy Holler, or something like that. But Nashville kind of changed the game for Don't Tell because they just did one in Nissan Stadium.
No shit.
Yeah, and it was like I was there doing Don't Tell, but we were at 12 South. Like we were at fucking Marine Layer, a clothing store, while like the heavy hitters in Nashville were at fucking Nissan. Doing Don't Tell.
That's awesome though. Like that's a hell of a venue to have on the list.
Because it's like now, like look what we did in Nashville. Like what would it look like to have that at one of the say, what the fuck is the name of the new what is it the Food City?
Oh, Thompson Bowling, but the Food City.
At Food City Center, yeah, Thompson Bowling
Arena at
Food City Center.
Okay, so it is still
Fucking
Thompson
stupid.
Bowling.
The actual
Swear to
court
God.
is called Thompson or whatever.
That's the summit.
Yeah, that's right.
In Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. Let me add 2 more sentences for the rest of the things I forgot.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's the longest venue name in North America.
Yeah, that's
What the hell?
unnecessary.
Terribly unnecessary. But you know what? The school had to find another reason for Food City to give them money. So like, we'll slap your name on the place. Give us a check.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Well, also, Food City's fix it, renovate.
Right, they've spent a ton of money.
for the renovation. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So they can put their name on it.
yeah.
That's just how stadiums go nowadays.
Y'all ever wonder if like Food City and Ingles got beef?
I would hope so. I would hope so. They fighting for the same old people. Like
Exactly. That's what I'm like. They have the exact same demographic.
Yeah, they fighting for the same old
in
people.
Knoxville anymore?
There's one on
Here's-
Merchants.
Is it still open?
Yeah, I was there 2 weeks ago. I'm an old
And then there's
person.
one on Emory, right?
That's a big Kroger.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
the Kroger Marketplace.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Food Line back in the day. I don't think that even.
There's a Food Line in La Follette.
Oh, okay. Follott's still about 10 years behind.
Yeah, well, small town USA right there.
I can say like I'm from that area.
Yeah, Sneeville's really similar. We have a Greens IGA.
Good old IGA.
Oh boy,
Sneeville doesn't even sound like a real place.
I promise you it is.
I know, no.
I
I've driven
promise.
past it a lot.
I grew up there.
It's in several
my
Dr.
God.
Seuss books.
Exactly.
You're funny.
Like,
You're
you know where Horton lives?
huh?
Yeah,
You know where
Whoville,
Horton lives
Sneeville.
in?
Horton. No, the Lord. What is
The Lorax.
the Lorax? He lives in Sneedville with a T with a TH, and people hear me say Sneedville out in public, and they're like, "No shit." I'm just like, "Damn, no." But when I say Sneedville, most often people think of the Dr. Seuss reference of Sneedville because the truffula trees, and it sounds so similar.
Yeah.
So they usually that's what they pick up on, and then I have to tell them it's a 2-stoplight town in the mountains with a population of under 2,000 people, and the story changes a little bit. It's far less fantastic after that.
A little bit. You
Yeah.
should just go with the Dr. Seuss.
You're right,
Yeah.
but the place is gorgeous, and there's not a lot of people there, so they haven't really ruined all of it yet.
Okay.
Yeah. If you go 10 minutes out of town in any direction, it's wonderful.
Got it.
Yeah, it's a great place. I grew up there. I spent the first 20 years of my life there, and then I moved here. Been here ever since. Yep. Legit 2 stoplights, though. Like, that's not a joke. 2 stoplights.
Hey, you got a Hardee's, though.
Well, we got a Hardee's, and we just got our first Mexican restaurant.
Oh, people love Hardee's.
Well, that's because I can pick banjo in there in the afternoons on Sundays. I'm not kidding.
Is it Tex-Mex or is it?
No, it's legit Mexican. No, it's not. No, it's a franchise. Well, not a franchise, but a different location ran by a family that owns a Mexican restaurant in Morristown. So they just came across the mountain and decided to open up in the old Pizza Plus because the Pizza Plus decided to build a new building like 1 block away on the other side of the Dollar General. So instead of it being a Dollar General or a Family Dollar, Pizza Plus, Dollar General, it is now Family Dollar, Mexican restaurant, Dollar Tree, whatever it is, and then pizza restaurant. So the restaurant variety increased by like 15% that day when they opened up. Yep.
That was like Oneida. That's where I'm from. I had gone back in like a decade, and I went back and forget the Burger King and moved across the road.
Whoa.
I was just like, wait, what? I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, my mom called me one day and she's like, son, they're opening a Mexican restaurant in the old Pizza Plus. And I said, dear God. Like, what happened? I took a big step up. And then, at some point, somebody started licensing pizza restaurants inside of Subways. So when that happens, everybody went crazy. You can get a pizza at Subway now.
Well, Herradura on Broadway, that's an old Subway.
Yeah, you're right, it is. But
they took that building over because it was them and then like a payday loan place. I just went by the other day. They've taken the whole
yeah, bless them for that.
So good.
God, man.
It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, them lingua tacos is where it's at for me.
I live by the one out west. The old Chick-fil-A.
That's dangerous. The Express.
Yeah.
The Herradura Express. Yeah,
dangerous.
that's the one I eat at most often. But if I'm on the north end of town, that Broadway location, better watch out because I'm coming. I've had many of those tacos.
Same.
Many. Guys, this sparkling water is really good.
See, that's what happens when you play a podcast around dinner time. Talking about.
Yeah, I know. Luckily, I was able to work everything out today where I finished dinner at like 6:15, and it all worked out. So I'm sorry about interrupting everybody else's dinner plans tonight.
I'm having dinner as soon as I get home.
Yeah, my blood sugar's low over here.
Hey, man, there's some brown sugar in the cabinet.
Cereal bars.
I got some. There's some Honey Nut Cheerios on top of the fridge. You're welcome to them.
Like a toddler. Just
Hey, there's some bowls with suction cups on the bottom in the cabinet. You can have those too, man. Those bowls work, don't they? Did you break them all? Yeah, he broke them all.
Yeah.
So, I'll say that I've been working on this emotions series. So I've been working on some pretty heavy hitting emotional stuff in my creative practice as of late. That piece right there on the wall is the first one. That's called Gratitude. I painted that last Thanksgiving. So
there are 3 pieces right there.
top left corner of the green one.
Can you not tell which one is? Yeah, the one with Saturn and the moon.
Yeah. Brandi, if you were more familiar with my artwork, that would have been less of a question. I'm sorry to assume.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute.
But if I tell you I've made 3 of those, and the first one was last November, let me tell you this series is rolling off the press quick. And
one every 4 months.
yeah, something like that. Whenever I care to linger on my emotions and try to figure out what that actually looks like. So I've done 2 others since then, and I might be working on a 3rd inside my head. We'll see. But that's been the stuff that's been pouring out of me with the most heartfelt intention. Brandi, I'll pull that off the wall later. You can get a really good look at it.
Okay.
But have y'all been pouring hearts into your work lately?
No, but I have a question. I'm sorry, you go. You go first.
I was just gonna say, and this goes back to the first question that you asked. I have this new bit that I'm really excited about that I've been working on, and I figured out how to work it in between my opener and my closer, just if I get like a 10-minute spot or whatever. And I'm really, really excited about it. But I also realized that it can be a really triggering piece for some people.
Have you tried it? Yeah. Have you put it out there?
Yeah. And I've gotten good reception from it, and how I've reworked it, because I realized sometimes my battle is separating my poetry from my comedy. because I like to write my comedy in as a poem, just because of the structure wise or whatever, and how to keep things formatted. But then also I get deeper. And I'm like, comedy ain't supposed to be that deep.
Yeah.
Like let's surface level. Let's keep it surface. Like,
you get halfway into this and you remember it's a joke. Like.
Yeah. So like literally, like I did it on, what was it, last night? Yeah, last night at IMS, and I cut it in half, and it hit the way that I wanted it to hit, because when I had performed it before and I did the full joke, it was like, yeah, that's funny, but also you lived a hard life. Like,
did it get too wordy?
Yeah, it got too deep.
Okay.
It got too deep.
So you gave yourself too much space to get into that idea.
Yeah, and I was like, I just cut it off. So I'm like, I'm really happy with how that joke is like really shaping up right now.
Also, I saw some pictures from the I'm setup last night. That looked like a really cool little setup.
It was nice.
Yeah, with the uplighting and everything.
Until it started raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to run inside.
But the stage and the stool and all the uplighting looked really, really good. Yeah, with the natural background and stuff.
Stage.
Yeah, for real.
Nice.
If you haven't listened to their episode, I put that one out last, and it's a really fun one.
you?
Yeah, with Ricky and Rowan.
Yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lot of fun. I wound Ricky up, and she just talked, and then Rowan would sprinkle in some stuff every now and again. It was great. Yeah. I mean, you've hung out with them. You sort of know their dynamic.
Got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that was a lot of fun. That particular conversation is what spawned the Orgycast idea. Like that whole thing all happened right then. Yeah. But I was super happy to see that setup, because you got to be kind of next to nature, or nature adjacent, which I would imagine is something really.
It was loud as hell. That fucking cicadas. Oh, it was so loud.
And they're just like screaming, fuck, fuck, me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be funny over here. Like.
I know. But
they were behind you too, so it's even worse.
Everywhere. They were everywhere. It sounded like.
So did you really, really enjoy like performing outside in that kind of environment? Because that's not something you get to do all the time, right?
So what I've come to the realization is that while I like being outside, I'm not really outdoorsy. There's a difference.
There is a difference.
Oh, for sure.
So that was like kind of at that border.
Yeah.
You know, like
that was on the line.
that was on the line, because outside is just outside. Like,
right.
Outdoorsy is you in nature. You're engulfed.
There's
like
insects.
you're gonna get bit. Like yeah. I'm like,
Hey, I'll be right back. Hang on.
Yeah. So like that last night was, it was kind of like right on that border. So.
I'm glad you found where that line is. I feel like that's a real important line. You're just like, listen, you asked me to do any patio gig, but if I'm doing a trailhead, hell no.
My God. Like, I am from the city. I was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was born in Plainfield, New Jersey. Like, I'm not all this that y'all be doing with the hikings and the biking and the aquariums. I got a whole bit about the first time I got invited to a aquarium to go swim. Y'all don't swim in that shit. Y'all float and drink beer. Y'all call that shit tubing. They're like, y'all need to tell people that.
What else is tubing?
That's it. No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
People call
I
it
thought
swimming.
it was swim. I got invited to swim.
Really?
Yeah.
She thought this was like an active activity. This is
Yeah,
not a passive.
You're the real tubing.
No.
All the action is right here. Not here. Yeah.
I was like, okay, so now I know better. But yeah.
So the last 5 minutes of this conversation have been all about expectations and how they need to be more clearly demonstrated on the front end. So if you ask Brandi to go swimming, you better get your shit straight.
Please, like there should be swimming involved,
Right.
And action.
And if you're going to be in a tube drinking beer, ask her if you want to drink beer.
Because I'm not going to bring a tube if we swim it.
Right.
And that was my debacle. So
you did you bring a tube to this scenario, or did you have to bum one?
No. Somebody gave me.
Just be hanging off.
Somebody gave me a life vest, and I didn't want to like put it on and like buckle it up and look silly or whatever. So I straddled it like a buoyant diaper.
It works real
And I
well.
was just
Center of gravity low.
Kinda-
Center of gravity low.
No, that's a great move.
drop the
Just
water
float
about
water,
right here.
seriously,
You
just-
chill it.
yeah.
And your hands are free, unrestricted movement. Yeah, hey.
But also I realized like my legs are like my body is way more down in the water than anybody else's because they had laying in the float. They just got their butts in the water,
sitting there
pissing
burning.
everywhere. You know, like. And then one of the girls yells out, she was like, "Now don't go down too far." Because like all the machines are still down there from when they removed all the marble.
But
and
wait.
shit. Bitch,
But what's it?
why didn't you put this in the e-bike?
Wait, was it clear that this was hundreds of feet down, or was it just like, hey, don't go 10 feet down because it's not
Some
10 feet?
people die in here every year. That's
time
what
you
was
get down
told
that far,
to
you
me.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time you get down there for
Yeah,
Have you
just-
seen the
Wait,
videos of
intentionally
them
going
like,
down
going
there.
down there and filming and stuff? It's wild.
Yeah, they tell you not to dive into that shit for a reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Well, I
And then
have
there's
not-
people over here jumping off the rocks like
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
And then people like going
You
down.
can go in
and
and then
like-
they end up getting stuck. Yeah, you
See,
go
and I thought that
it's
it
dark
was-
in those things. Like, yeah, it's dangerous.
You see them little crazy ass white boys climbing up the
Yep.
side. Like I thought that was as wild as it got. Like, no, y'all going under?
Yeah.
Oh.
They don't. I don't think they do it intentionally. It's you dive down and end up.
Oh,
you get
it's
to the
like-
bottom of that arc and you hit your head and it's just over with.
Oh my
Like,
God.
so the tubes are really important.
Yeah.
that keeps you from wanting to jump
Life
off. Like,
and death.
Yeah. The
It's not
tubes are
about
really
being
important.
in the water.
Yeah.
It's about just on top of the water.
I see.
You know? Did you know there are jellyfish in that quarry too?
No. What?
Yeah, there are jellyfish in Mead's quarry. Freshwater jellyfish.
That can't be real.
It's true. They are really small, but it
Do
is
they
true.
sting?
Google it.
I would imagine they do, but I don't
Never
like.
heard of a fresh
I've never heard of
fish.
somebody
I've
getting
heard of
rushed to
freshwater
UT.
jellyfish in
Why?
Ohio.
Why
We
would
had
y'all
Lake on Lake Winoka.
there's jellyfish in
But I also like realized that I was a child and adults lie.
Oh yeah.
Just to tell, like, so
They do.
yeah.
I mean, they don't, Elliot. But they
They do. I've never lied to you ever.
Well, I have touched a jellyfish before.
Yeah, and your mama told you to back up, didn't she?
Where were you at?
He was on the beach.
Where?
Florida. Yeah, was it Daytona, Orlando? Where was it? Orlando? Yeah, Orlando.
I like how he knows and you were unsure.
Well, I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
wasn't there.
I was stoned in my recliner. Well, but no, he's been to Florida more times recently than I have because his stepdad's family's got some family down there, so they'll run down there sometimes in the summer. Yeah, and we took him to Disneyland after he learned how to poop in the toilet too, so that was nice.
What did
Or not
you
Disneyland, but Legoland. That's what it was. We took him to Legoland after he got potty trained. Yep.
What are you gonna do when he graduates?
That's TBD. That's a future
I'm
Thomas
like,
problem.
you started really high. Like
We had a struggle.
Got taken to the
Oh.
moon.
To the moon. We were talking about going to the moon yesterday. I ain't even kidding. We were in the car, and he's like, "Dad, I got 2 goals in my life. And that's to make people laugh, and then after I figure that shit out, I'm going to the moon." I'm just like, "Well, brother, I think you got the first one pretty good right now, and I'll probably never get to go to the moon, but your ass will probably get to go to the moon." Technology and
May
stuff.
have to.
Yeah, man.
honestly,
As long as we can ride to the moon on a rocket not shaped like a fucking dick, I'll be good.
No.
No. Listen, it's if Jeff Bezos has anything to do with this, all the rockets are shaped like penises. Let's just be honest about this. The Blue Origins rocket shapes like a fucking dick, and
yeah.
yeah, it
The
is.
most aerodynamic shit.
I don't know about that.
is it Demos? Wait a minute.
Never mind that.
I'm gonna-
Fibonacci curves. No
See,
angle.
this is. I want to make a joke about dicks coming at you fast now, but I just don't know. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know the wording because you were like, I don't think dicks are the most aerodynamic thing. I'm like, well, how do you know dicks aren't the most aerodynamic thing?
Somebody's about to email Lockheed right now.
That reminds me. So you're talking about painting emotions.
Yeah. Lust isn't in the list.
It didn't really remind me, but I remembered we were talking about it. But I was curious. So, do you just think about a certain emotion and just start painting and going for it?
So, how that has worked so far in this series, I'm glad you brought this back to some serious conversation. We'll get back to aerodynamic penises in a moment. No, in all seriousness, I've thought about moments in my life experience where that particular emotion was the dominant feeling that I had. Like I said, I painted that one on Thanksgiving, so I was thinking about what my plans were that day, who I was going to see, how I was going to spend my time, how I was happy to see the people I was going to be spending time with, happy to be doing what I was doing that day. And I had a couple hours to kill, and it just felt green and blue and kind of spiky. And kind of spiky is not necessarily a bad thing. It's more like a reachy out, spready, kind of like the extents of kind of thing. And that's just the shapes and the color patterns that came out of that thought process. Mm-hmm. And the other two have been hope is blue, and I describe it as that looking at something very bright from very far away. It kind of has that like glimmer, and you can't really tell, when you look at something through a large portion of the atmosphere, it what's the word? It blinks.
Diffracts.
Yeah, that and
diffuses.
What's
One of them.
like what? It twinkles. That's the word I was looking for. Twinkles. But that is how I describe that one.
Astigmatism.
I have that too.
Same.
It's really good in the rain at night. I love it.
Oh, it's good.
I've painted my
I
astigmatism
forgot my
flare.
glasses.
I
I was
have.
like, I'm driving home at night.
Good thing you don't live far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third one I painted was Disgust, and it was purple, and it's asymmetrical for a good portion of the design. So it starts kind of in the middle and works its way outward in a way that isn't any sort of symmetrical, and then there are flares and aspects of that sort of wing out in layered ways. And that's just the colors and shapes that came to me when I thought about the experience I had that spawned that emotion. Yeah. So as I work through this series, I've got a list, and I'm working through the list in the order that they are written, which is just, when the idea hit me that day. And then as I go through this list, I think about experiences that I've had and how I translate that into a visual media. That's how that works. And then I'll do the next one, and it may be that same process, or it might not. But that's what it's been so far.
Kind of something I started recently, or something I've wanted to do for a long time, is sigil paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking a word, like this stuff in like magic, like occult magic, where you like take a word, you take like certain letters out, then you mix it together and make it unrecognizable, but you use the shapes to make like a symbol. Mm-hmm. And actually, I just made my first one design. But yeah, it's kind
and you didn't tell me you was working on anything when I asked?
I got sidetracked. Yeah, we got sidetracked on that question. But yeah, first one I was doing is Hex, which I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. That's a spell in Dungeons and Dragons. But also it's a real thing. It's a real curse thing. But like doing that, but yeah, taking emotions, being happy, but make a sigil of it and like paint it, print it. That way, people look at it. It's supposed to, subconsciously, make people feel happy or whatever the emotion is. It's people use it in like black magic, and that's where a lot of like the lore of it comes from, but that's not really my intent with it.
You're not going Gilgameshian with it all
Yeah,
the way that
not quite.
demons or anything.
Not Antony LaVey. Like, yeah, not going like that route, like the sex magic route.
Yeah.
No Necronomicon.
But I love Dungeons and Dragons and that stuff, so it's like well, that's cool. Like, I want to make some sigils and some like fake magic language.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, you don't have a whole lot of, well, you do, but the geometry in your art is a little different than the geometry in my art.
Yeah.
So people I'm sure people looked at your work and be like, oh man, sacred geometry, look at that. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, oh, what? Because people get really uppity about their geometry sometimes. They're like, oh man, I bet you must like meditate on these symbols and these shapes and like, all these things. And I'm just like, no, I just draw this shit. Like,
Like, no, I'm just a nerd, honestly.
it's like, you know what I love? Circles and rulers and math. Yeah, like that's more the thing that I get into.
All the platonic solids are like the shape of the Dungeons and Dragons dice.
Yeah, exactly.
4-sided, 6-sided, 8-sided.
And it seems to just like baffle people when I tell them that I'm not like some monkish religious scholar of these shapes and patterns when I draw them, and they're just like, how do you?
That is like a meditative like monk practice.
It is, and one of
the shapes, and you meditating on an emotion, and like
and you and I have talked about like how mentally healthful like that kind of practice is, and I do get that out of it. But I'm never sitting here like, oh man, I'm going to draw this kind of hexagon with this many lines and faces because I need to manifest some shit in my life. Never at all.
I mean, that's like people with rocks and gemstones and stuff.
If I carry this thing in my pocket, it should get me $10 by Wednesday. Yeah. No, never.
I won this lottery if I had my amethyst with me.
Yeah, if only I had the amethyst. Yeah.
Got to charge your stones in the moonlight.
Yeah. And then there was that eclipse today. Like, if you didn't have your quartz in the windowsill today, you done fucked up.
Really, you gonna be behind.
You fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked up real bad. That special moon in the way sun energy right there. Yeah. Yeah. You need some of that. Charge them crystals, baby. Hey.
It's the sunlight that goes through the moon.
Right.
It's through.
Yeah. Not the stuff that goes around.
No.
It's got to go through, and then it hits only my rock. It hits only mine, and all the people that are like crystal heads or whatever. That didn't sound good. Crystal heads.
Not disparaging that.
No, the other crystal heads are actually called.
Say it. We're here.
Meth heads. So.
See, now we know more about your audience base.
Yeah.
Crystal heads.
You need some characters
I love
on
my
the festival
listeners.
circuit with art.
Yeah. You definitely do. You meet some characters working in a head shop too. Yeah, I did that for a while. Yeah, I did that for a while.
Well, that's why I started pricing on my art like 111, 222, 333 is the angel numbers.
Yeah.
It's not because I believe in it, but people like they're like, oh, that's my angel number. This is speaking to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. I'm an angel to buy that.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to give you a discount. You already said you love this number. Yeah, you can buy that for sure, full price.
I don't think I'd be doing you a favor by giving you a discount.
No. They want to spend that $111, and I'm going to let them 100%. Yeah, I'm not going to get in their way of pulling the money out and saying, hey, here you go. Not at all. Never. Because I need it.
But also with that, I'm like, oh, I'll take 100 or 200. Feel like they're getting a deal. I'm like, no, that's the actual price. I just like putting the angel numbers up to draw people in.
Yeah, the people that really like nerd in on that shit are just they do.
Well, then
freak
they start
out.
talking to me about it. I'm like, I literally don't know anything about it.
You're just like, nah, yeah, it's just a label, and they get so disheartened. But you already made the
I just pull
sale.
out my phone, and be like, yeah, you getting that one right? It's on here.
Yeah. It's like, what's your PayPal? It's like, it's on the QR code right there.
It's exactly.
That's it right there.
Scan it. You need the Wi-Fi? I'll give it to you.
Because that's important underground.
Well, yeah, the cabin's like there's no cell phone service,
No.
but it's like I was like I have the Wi-Fi. Like I'll tell you it. Like
That's how we do this PayPal, right?
yeah, that's how to get your money. JK, I love doing art for people. It's not about just the money. I like the conversations it leads to.
I mean,
but the conversations don't pay no bills.
Exactly.
Like,
that's why I talk to people after they buy my shit.
If I could pay my bills and that's crazies. Hey. That's crazy. Wrap it up.
Like, yeah. So, friends, do we have anything we're working on next? What's the next thing?
I have
I'm looking at you, Brandi.
2 comedy festivals coming up, and I'm
2?
fucking nervous.
Oh, you got this. You know you do.
Yeah.
Don't act like you ain't, because you shouldn't. Cause
Are
you
they in
can.
Knoxville or?
No, the first one is Blue Ridge Comedy Festival, December 11th through the 16th. That's in Bristol, Tennessee, at the Blue Ridge Comedy Club. And then the other one, I didn't officially get accepted into it, but I accidentally applied twice.
Ooh.
And a person who was doing it, she was like, were you just trying to submit a new tape or whatever? And I was like, well, I actually didn't know that I applied. So, and she was like, oh no, like unless you want to submit a new tape, but we were already just talking about how great your tape was.
Oh, so definitely send them another one.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like I got.
Yeah, Yeah, here's a second helping. Get you
Yeah.
some.
So I'm like, it feels like I got into that one, and that's in Atlanta. That's the West End Comedy Festival, hopefully. And that'll be in February.
Is that sort of the extent of your travel for your comedy work right now?
No.
Or have you been? Where else have you been?
I travel to Virginia a lot. They love me in Virginia.
Well, hell yeah.
Roanoke, and I did my very first corporate gig in Richmond for Kroger not too long ago, and now I'm traveling to Nashville a lot to do comedy, but Chattanooga is on the circuit. Chattanooga has like a booming comedy scene.
Nice.
So, yeah, and then Bristol. Yeah.
Do you also hate traveling 81 North just like everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Cruise
I
control,
don't.
2 under.
The worst trip for me is the drive back from Nashville.
Yeah, every time.
It's the
the hour
driving
change.
back from Nashville. I mean, that kicks my ass. Like, I can't do anything for that next day. It feels like I have jet lag or something.
Yeah, it's jet like you get in the car. It's its own special kind of torture.
Oh,
Drive back like the night of a thing. You're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
2.5 hours. Like, wait, 3.5 because the time changed. So
Yeah.
you're getting home.
You get to Roane County and everything just changes.
You pass that Buc-ee's and it's
Yeah,
different.
it's
Yeah.
something about it.
Yeah, and I stop at that Buc-ee's every time.
I gotta get me them chocolate chip cookie dough bites. I ain't even
You know,
kidding.
I never even go in for anything specific except for to use the restroom.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
that
very
makes sense.
important.
Yeah,
That's a very important
Everything
thing.
else has always disappointed me every time I
Did it?
stop at Buc-ee's.
Them cookie
That's
dough
why I stopped
bites.
getting shit from Buc-ee's, because I was getting disappointed. Like,
Got like
You're
a
right.
$10 pulled pork sandwich is like the worst thing
Any
I've
of
ever
the
had
food
in my
items
life.
like
Yeah.
that, the hot ready food items, just like, yeah, this
Yo, the pastries and stuff are pretty good though.
I'm always there
Well,
like
the fudge.
4 in the
I fuck with
morning
the
when there
fudge.
are no pastries.
Dude, last time I was in there, I got 2 blueberry muffins, a peach muffin, and a pecan muffin, and I almost ate them all on the way home from what is it, Clarksville to here? Yeah, yeah.
Wait a second, you said you only got 2 weeks.
Hey, that information may be inaccurate. I remember which one of those I ate, and the one that you left in the box. The ants got it.
I don't know.
You didn't eat it, so the bugs got it.
We went to Buc-ee's on the way back from Atlanta, like 2 in the morning, and a school bus rolled up, like a field trip
school
of,
bus?
High school kids like got out at like 2 in the morning to like at the Buc-ee's.
They didn't rent a charter bus?
I mean, they must have been going somewhere, obviously, but I like to think it was literally just a field trip to a Buc-ee's.
First of all, I don't like how you insinuated that like schools can just rent charter buses.
Well, listen.
Some of us
listen.
poor as shit, and we will take them goddamn yellow school buses all the way up to fucking Central State University. for
How
their
far
homecoming.
down on the poverty list was the county you grew up in? Because I promise mine was lower.
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. First of all, we're not going to do the Impression Olympics, goddamn it. But I was in a band in high school, and I remember there were a lot of times we took yellow buses when we should have had charter buses.
Well, okay, so the only time I took a school field trip that wasn't on a school bus was when my senior trip to D.C. We took a charter bus to D.C. But we funded that, the whole class. We put the school, the state didn't pay for that. We funded that for
Yeah.
ourselves. So, the whole 9 yards, 100% student funded for that trip,
Why would
as far as I remember.
That sounds
Because
like a
Washington, D.C. is a
rip-off.
pretty cool town.
Yes.
You shouldn't be paying for your own school trip.
Well,
How
I
else
mean,
you
we
gonna
had
get
to...
there?
You had to do fundraisers and crap. I remember.
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah. I mean, we had
What
the
year
option...
did you graduate?
2009. So this was
Okay.
like the 2008-2009 school year. And everywhere else I went for sports trips or school trips or anything like, locally / regionally was on a school bus. And that was under the school umbrella of funds.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to do something cool for ourselves, like, no, fuck it, y'all got to pay for it,
Down
So
there in
it's,
Sneeville.
yep. Well, it's
2
actually north of here, but
stoplights.
yeah. 2 stoplights. That's right. My schooling experience wasn't atypical for small town shenanigans, but
I think we had maybe 4 stoplights in Oneida.
oh god,
Where are you from?
Oneida, Tennessee.
Oh, that's right. You didn't say potato.
Scott County. Yeah.
Got it.
It's also up, like Sneedville up north.
That's the connection.
I like how we're giggling about unfortunate circumstances that we have no control over.
Well, my parents moved there when I was 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I was just born there, so I was like, thrust into it. You had to like transition into
Well, my
that.
mom worked for National Park, so I was born in Montana originally, but moved to Arizona, Minnesota, then Tennessee, and they're like, let's stay here so I can get out of school. So, I don't want to say the worst decision. But other places are a little bit cooler.
Are there a lot of elk in Montana? As soon as you said
Yes.
Montana, I was like, oh, that sounds like there's a lot of
Because my
fucking
mom
elk.
worked for Yellowstone. I know there's a lot of elk in the Yellowstone area, which is mainly Wyoming, but it's in Montana as
Yeah.
well. So I'd say there's elk in most of Montana. I moved when I was 2, so I don't know.
Where,
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I've been back.
I need your 2-year-old self to bring this information up, like stat.
I have like one memory from being like, from a 2-year-old. It was like moving away from them.
Like the classic Pixar shit, like looking at it in the rear view.
Yeah.
Like.
Like, I don't know if that's like implanted in like a fake memory, but like I have that memory.
Fair enough.
So is anybody from Knoxville? I'm from West Virginia.
No, I'm not.
I got stories.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you're the Lone Ranger here, right?
Born and raised.
No, what's the name? Wait, what's the name of the podcast?
It's the Knoxville area.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
And I don't even show art in the Knoxville.
Yeah, well, there's irony everywhere in this conversation, apparently. Everywhere.
so what part of Knoxville?
Fountain City.
Okay.
Like your whole life?
That's not
Yeah.
Knoxville.
That's Fountain City. That's
I mean,
That's between North Knoxville and Halls has
Halls
it.
is not Knoxville, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Fountain City is.
it is.
It is.
Yeah,
Confirm.
it's Knoxville.
It's the greater Knoxville area.
So, do you have any like art-oriented tales from the past of growing up in Fountain City?
anything involving the ducks?
No.
That damn pond.
There's a duck pond in Fountain City.
Fountain City Lake. I think.
That's a stretch of the word lake.
I don't know if they measure it by circumference or water, the amount of water,
It's the
but
depth that'll get you.
we've already talked about the depth today.
That's so funny.
The circumference of the
I'll fill you in.
heart-shaped lake, because depending on who you ask, it is definitely not the duck pond. It's the duck pond. I mean, obviously, no one knows what you're talking about if you're under 85 and you say Fountain City Lake, but the sign reads Fountain City Lake.
Oh wow! Never noticed it.
It does.
That's like the what is it? The Panda Garden.
Don't even start with me right now. You talking about the one on Galahad?
koala?
Oh God, I hate it so much.
Yep.
I was vehemently, passionately displaying my hate for this the other day. Now, let me preface this by saying I have eaten there. They've taken my money. The food was pretty okay. But it bugs the ever-loving shit out of me that their name is Panda Garden and there's a damn koala on the side. I'm going to bust in there one day after being stoned as shit at the house, and I'm just like, this is it. I'm going to find out. I'm going to bust in the door.
Was it a sale? Did somebody
Listen.
not know
Yeah.
what a koala?
Yes, it's like if this is a joke, I need to know. Like tell me right now that y'all know what you're doing with the wrong animal on the sign. Tell me. And I get every time somebody brings that place up, I'm just like, I can't talk about it. Don't get me started.
Too much pain.
The dam will break, the levees will go.
Would you eat at a place called Koala Garden, though?
Would I eat at a place called Koala Garden? Absolutely. It better be Australian food.
What is Australian food?
I'm assuming kangaroo.
I would go there to learn what Australian food is. I would have to be taught by
It's
experience.
Vegemite sandwiches.
Yeah,
It's just an Outback. What
yeah.
It's literally
What's
just
like
out.
blooming onions? Steakhouse.
I'm sure all of my Australian listeners want to strangle you right now.
Back to Koala Garden.
It is the Panda Garden. And you've seen it. I've cussed about it in the car when you've been with me. We talk about it sometimes when we go by there, and I just hate it. I hate it vehemently with a fiery passion as red as my hair.
Okay. I haven't seen this, but It's an illustration of a koala.
Correct. It's a round format backlit sign, and it's just a koala on a piece of fucking.
On bamboo or eucalyptus?
It's on.
That's what
I would hope it's on eucalyptus.
I think it's just the
bamboo, but
koala.
I think it's bamboo though, because I don't think.
I don't.
that's way for-
Brandy, you're on your phone. Brandy, you're on the phone. Are you pulling it up
I'm
right now?
trying to,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I saw you reach for your device, and I was like, I bet she's gonna show Adam a picture right now. Because I hope.
I'm trying.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
because I
goodness.
think
I don't remember off the top of my head because I try not to look at it.
yeah, it's not on
Confront
anything.
them, and then they're like, "All right, well,
It's
you
just
just
the
make
koala.
us and
It's
hand
just a
it
koala
for our
in
sign."
in a plant holding position.
In a
Maybe they bought that koala sign secondhand or something.
See, ain't that some shit?
That's
Ain't that some shit?
Koala
Ain't it?
That's on
Ain't
the
it?
like koala care like bathroom changing.
Have you never
exactly what
have
it
you
looks
never
Just
eaten
like
here or
it, yeah.
seen this place?
I've seen the sign. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's
John, that's what they're banking on.
I've never seen
That's what.
that nobody's gonna pay
No,
attention.
yeah. Like, if they don't see the sign, they'll come in and spend money. But if they see the koala, they'll never come in.
Oh hell!
that kindergarten. Why is there a koala?
Every time, dude. Every time, and I cannot pass by that place. And when I pass by that place, I'm going to eat at Age Cafe. So like, I have to, I have to get that out of my system before it just becomes
Valid.
an uprising of a wellspring of hatred that I just have to work my way through before I'm in public next. Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it. It needs to be a joke, or they need to be genuinely ignorant. And these are the only two.
Wait. I think you're not looking into it.
Please help me with this,
I
Adam.
think
Please.
It's like a psychology thing. Like when you see the word red, but it's in blue.
Blue font, blue text.
Right?
Yeah, that's a cruel joke. Is what
I
that
know.
is.
So, I think it's like a test. Like if you go in, you're gonna get the best.
Well, I don't know if I passed or failed because I spent money there.
But here's the thing: if they were to get a mascot suit, which one do you get?
A koala.
Ooh,
Koala.
It's what's on the sign.
ooh.
And then the koala
No,
person
no.
suit is holding a kindergarten sign out there just like spinning that shit around.
You get like a different marsupial, like a possum.
That would be the only North American marsupial. So, and they
And
are.
then you're just like, what? What is this?
That people have to come in and ask questions. Be like, what the fuck, sir? That's not on the menu. And just
And then you end up eating there and spending money, and it worked.
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
Since we're kind of on the topic of restaurants,
Yeah, right. It.
does anybody not feel that it's a little racist that there's a restaurant named Soccer Taco?
I hate soccer taco.
I get a question. Why are we even talking about restaurants?
Because that's where the conversation is right
It
now.
just kind of happens.
This is
Yeah.
this is
Soccer
the
taco
podcast.
is
yeah, that's how this goes.
the most Americanized Tex-Mex, and it's so just
Yeah.
not good.
It was-
Do you mean because it's not called like football?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
There's
No,
also
it's like,
you
I
beat me
wouldn't
to the
expect
punch.
there to be like a basketball fried chicken restaurant.
Oh my God.
There's a whole nother.
That's in Atlanta. That's got to be in Atlanta.
That too. That logo, that
Right.
taco, he is in so much pain. He's
right.
He is ready to go.
Who's
Yeah.
Senior Tacos?
Y'all are
Taco's
inside eating my
delicious.
children. He is so mad.
Oh my God, it is a taco.
just like-
Yeah.
Senior
I used to
Taco
know
is
across the
a
street from
taco.
Senior Taco, and I remember when they like redid
And they
it
have
all,
this
and, like
salsa
made the big
bar.
sign. I was just like, all right, let's go.
I swear, every time I roll by, I'm just like, man, he's so unhappy.
I need the
Please come in and
football
eat my
taco
children.
though. Like I
Football
need that
taco.
now. I need the football taco.
And also
yes.
the names at Soccer Taco are like the Philadelphia Eagles nachos.
Yeah. And then stuff that they do put in Spanish is like arroz con pollo, and it's got the quotation marks.
Yeah.
Is it or isn't it? Wait a
I'm
minute.
so confused right now.
Yeah, it's like, is this chicken with fries? Like,
I don't really know what you're gonna get. Yeah.
Chicken with rice.
oh,
It makes it all better. The air
let's
quotes.
make it worse.
It's like it makes it a question at that point. It's like an implied question because your voice goes up with the inflection chicken with rice.
I heard,
But
Yeah.
we can't guarantee it.
Most certainly. I will say there perhaps one redeeming quality is they served me really strong margaritas, and that's probably why I have this opinion.
Senior Taco or Soccer Taco?
Yeah.
One margarita.
Soccer taco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am officially starving,
Yeah.
and I think it's about time.
It is about time for you to dip. Yeah.
Like 4 minutes after what you said, too.
Yeah, look at him. He's like, I told you I was going to be hungry. Watch. Well, Chance, if you want to plug your socials and your stuff, I really appreciate you being here and joining us for this thing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. At Professor Rainbow, Instagram,
Pretty much everywhere else,
pretty
too.
much everywhere else. I know I've said this every time. Still working on the Twitch and the YouTube and all that, but it's there. I have it. There'll be stuff on there eventually.
Well, people
Instagram, no, that's where I put everything.
are holding their breath.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I can't say they're
I don't
not.
post- You know, I have a different YouTube from like college that I have stuff on.
But should you put that out there?
Well,
Is that what you want people
it's
to
like
do?
art videos.
It's all political.
It's from college.
But yeah, I don't even know how to get back into that account.
Brandi, did you park behind a Prius?
I parked on the left side.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
you parked
I
behind
think you're
Chance.
parked behind me.
We can take this moment to talk about the sponsors that we don't have. And
Oh, well, I'm not
Sponsored by Soccer Taco.
I
and
should
Panda.
make my exit as well. I have been over here fighting, not rubbing my eyes.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tell people where to find you on the internet, and then you can bounce.
So you can find me by my name, Brandi Augustus, Brandi with an I, and that I have a website, brandiaugustus.com. My Instagram is brandi.augustus. My Twitter is _iBrandi because
It's X
Brandi.
now.
Oh,
Whoa, yeah.
right. You're right.
The room erupts with banter. Like,
My God. It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's like when the year changes. Like, you know, trying to like a new day.
2020 scribble. Yeah.
I'll say this: it will never be X.
Yeah, it's
No,
always
on
gonna be
my
20.
phone, it's definitely. I'm like, what the hell?
But you don't tweet an X, do you? Like, you don't like. What is it? Do you?
Well,
tweet?
no,
Do you still
you
tweet?
still tweet. That's the thing. I'm like, you can't change the name until you
can't be
change the
Xing.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Xing
like
is
so
weird.
we're still if we're still
Yeah.
tweeting, it's still.
Yeah.
tweeting.
I'm glad we all have that clarity on this situation.
Yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
play those games. Fuck him. Okay? No. I don't adjust well to change. But yeah, all of my stuff, you can always just find me by my name on my things.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this bit of ridiculousness. Greatly appreciate your time, energy, and participation in this conversation.
Yay, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure meeting
Nice to
you
meet
all.
you.
You too. Absolutely.
Yay. And this wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be. Well, when I realized I was going to
Yeah.
But it was still weird, right?
a little bit. It was still a little bit
We
weird.
own brand. We own brand. Yeah, we own brand.
Yeah.
But it not be
It was
weird.
one of those like when I realized that I was gonna be like the only chick or whatever. I was like, sausage
Well, that
party.
wasn't the intention.
I know.
Only chicken orgy.
Only chicken.
Like true
So
Roman.
sorry.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave on that.
Yeah, that's a good one to dip out on. All right. Thank y'all very much. I'll see y'all later.
Careful.
See y'all
Good,
soon.
good to see y'all.
You can have a
See you
seat
guys.
now, John.
Oh Lord, fellas,
Oh,
what
by
a
the way, I'm not stalking you. I'm part of Relay Ridge too.
That's right. I see
Yeah.
your name on stuff.
Okay.
I'll keep that in mind.
see the world got smaller again. Yeah.
I'll see you there someday.
Yes.
So, fellas, where do we go from here now? We've already talked. Like, I don't know what to do now. What do we do now?
Okay.
Well, I've been watching One Piece for like the last hour or so.
Yeah. I cannot see the TV because I'm
Oh, my
facilitating this particular lovely conversation. My back is to the TV right now. You've been looking at the screen that most people's daughters don't get to see.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you know, if you're still watching, if this screen comes up, you're not paying attention anymore.
Yeah, nobody's watching. Nobody's waiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bad with screens in my field of vision, though. It can just be that, and
You're gonna look at it.
I'll read it like 700 or 800 times.
That's what
Now, are you still watching One Piece? Why is that question mark outside the quote?
You know, that's the better question right there.
Grammar, right?
Wait. Is this really one piece?
Yeah.
No, it's one piece, but it comes in episodic format.
Why is it in italics?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the One Piece I got most of the seasons, and there's like Pirate Era Gold and all that.
I've got some catching up to do.
Is it like that 8-piece?
Yeah, you got about 24,000 minutes of catching up to do. I did the math the other day. It's ridiculous. 24-minute episodes. There's just over 1,000 of them. It's
Just don't have the investment. And have so
commitment.
much crap
There's like
going on.
1,000, and right now maybe 20.
1,020 chapters. Is that your rough estimate?
No,
Episodes. Well, the chapter count in the manga is a little higher than that because the manga's ahead of the anime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're still working.
Relay Ridge is cool though. Like I've known Drew for a long time. Like I've been to a couple of their first variety of things. I may join at some point, but kind of I'm expanding creatively right now. I'm doing Inktober. Like I've been doing some of that. I don't know.
John, what's today's prompt? Don't mean to interrupt, but I kind of do. What's today's prompt in October?
Castle.
Castle?
Castle's already up.
Okay.
And then I think it's like Demon and Angel like next couple of days, which are pretty easy. But
I think I'm gonna just. I'm obviously way behind because I haven't done a single one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do them, and I'll be like, "Oh, I got locked out of my account. I'll post them."
just do an individual day. Like that's all. I've done like 4 of them, and it's like day 14. So yeah, do what you want to do.
Yeah, I looked at the list this year and I was like, I'm still gonna do my own stuff. Like, it's like I would love to participate this in a daily challenge for 31 days or whatever, but it's like,
Instagram kind of killed it because you can't search by hashtags. You can't search new by hashtag anymore.
yeah.
And it used to be a lot of people used to do that with Inktober, so you get a lot of likes. Like you'd find new artists that way, other artists would find you, and it doesn't happen anymore.
Well, you want to talk about different ways the algorithm, screws us over, because that's another one.
That's a whole topic.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of lip service to how bad the algorithms are on this show.
Wow.
Yeah, well, there should be a better option than Instagram, but it's the most popular right now still.
Yeah, for some reason.
Mastodon.
I post there too.
Mastodon.
Tusky, I guess now is the name of the app, but it's hosted by Mastodon or whatever it is.
So cute.
I know Tusky. It's like why? It's an adjective. It's gonna go great. And I think just call it Mastodon. I really don't care.
Okay, why a Panda Garden when they have a koala?
Exactly.
I've been trying to figure this out for years. Years.
When it always said Panda Garden,
It just-
when it got the koala,
it just-
like,
It's gonna keep gnawing at me too.
Yep.
Now, have you ever drawn a koala? Because I've drawn a koala before.
I've never actually drawn a koala.
If you went to drink and draw, you'd be drawing this kind of crap.
You're right, but that still doesn't answer the question of why the hell this is the way this is.
I know.
It doesn't, and
Pandas aren't as cute looking.
and they're you know what? For being such cute animals, they can snap violent so fast. The both of them, and people forget that. Like, oh, it's cute. It's so nice and fluffy all the time, and then it claws your face off, right?
Koalas are kind of gross too, like they pee on themselves or something. It's like, yeah, koalas are disgusting animals.
Yeah, they're gross. And their mouths are shaped funny, and they have claws. It's weird. It's so weird. They're not nice to people.
Cute.
Yeah, but it's like when you food photography, all the good stuff that they see on TV is fake. I saw somebody pour green wax into a bowl the other day and wad it up and make a head of lettuce. Like that. Yeah. This has been one of the weird things where art and food mix in society, and prop food photography for restaurant advertisements has been one of those things that's just like, this is how this works. It's like Foley art, except bad.
What does it do for perception, though? Like, imagine if you were to go in to buy a piece of art, thinking, "Oh, it looks like this on the online thing or the whatever you saw it on," and then they hand it to you, and it's not even.
It's half the size in a different shade. Like,
That's why it's good to go out and see art, even with your friends, because you don't get a sense of scale. Like
Yeah.
you can say, "Oh, wow, that is like a 6-foot painting." I had no idea.
and if you stand next to it, and then the picture of this burger is on an 8-inch plate, so it looks huge, and then they serve it to you on a 10-inch plate, and it looks tiny as shit.
I know what is a painting burger. Is it like a color patty from SpongeBob?
The pretty patties. The pretty patties.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't the restaurant do that?
That has.
Did I dream that?
I think somebody did try to do that.
Somebody did release like pretty.
Don't eat the black ones.
Oh, man.
They mess with your medications because they're all like carbon. Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad time.
Yeah.
So
What?
there was something that I was wanting to float to you. So
Do we need this on microphone, or is this
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Let's go.
I feel like this goes in the creative realm because of what you were talking about earlier with the garage becoming gallery. I've noticed with doing the AR stuff, the augmented reality, that a lot of people are using it to map like areas,
Yes,
spatial.
physical spaces. Yeah.
Something I was thinking about is the way that you have. I don't know how your laser scanner actually is.
Oh, it does. It's a camera and a laser. So
pick up.
yeah, I can
So-
scan things in full color with full texture.
Yeah, it would be nothing to be able to upload those as PVZ files
Mhm.
and be able to hang them in a 3D model of your
Yep.
own home or anywhere. Hell, you could make a model of the Smithsonian and hang up a bunch of shit in there.
Yeah, and I would love that.
No, wait, and just put that over there and just make it look.
Can you imagine all the art in my house getting laser scanned, and then I could display it in a digital format in like a headset, so you could just
put on
look
the
around.
VR headset and walk around this house, but not this house, but see all the stuff on the walls,
Yeah.
all the stuff you hang up,
Yeah.
everything.
Is a fully representative digital model of whatever it is that I scan, like 1-to-1, full color, full scale. Yeah.
See, and and that's something that you could host and not really need to put a timeline on, as long as like a timeline.
It's like, hey, if you log into this thing
you're
within
gonna
this
see that
2-week date window, you can experience it however you like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. You got to see it today.
Well, so to that point, I'm glad we're talking about this. To that point, I have experienced things like this that are AR, VR, digital galleries, and most of the time they're like digital walkthrough galleries. So you can just like click the arrow and go this way, and like a Google Maps kind of thing through a display area through a gallery.
I get what you're saying.
And then I've also seen augmented reality ones for people that have those headsets. I've seen like straight up VR ones where you just kind of like stick yourself around.
Well, View 4 has even got a View app just for your regular phone now. So you can.
Is
just
that
take-
like you moving around and you move
almost
around, or
any
is it just like
smartphone
let
that
me?
you've got, you can literally just.
Now there are photogrammetry apps that will do 3D stuff, and I've got one of them on my phone as well. What's it called?
Euphoria is just the host, though. I don't want to say that that's actually. I mean, you can take and generate all this through Euphoria.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is more of just your host on your actual device.
Right.
Your experience maker, put it that way.
I have it in there somewhere. But that's something I would really be interested in putting together.
And that could even be an extension to what you're doing.
Right,
in the base.
because I could make like a digital experience for the people that can't physically come.
Yeah.
And that could rotate when the physical exhibit
And the people
rotates.
who are here could tune into an experience outside of what you've got in here.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Having that extra.
It could be complementary to or totally different.
Yeah.
From like, hey, the digital exhibit this week is such and such, and the physical exhibit this week is, whoever's actually in the gallery.
Yep. And I mean, once you've propagated that gallery space, you could change it how you want it, but you could
Right.
leave it the same, and you'd never have to mess with any of that.
Right.
You're just pulling stuff off. and
Right,
putting
you're
stuff
just
back.
changing the
All that would be done with your Cartesian coordinates.
Mhm.
So you just plug in your X, Y's, and Z's where everything was at. Depending on the
I really wanna do
3D
this.
model, I don't know if you would need like a weight.
Oh, I'm kind of bummed that you're here right now because that's a bad way to lead into that question.
Nice to see you all.
Well, I was gonna say because my computer's busted and we can't do any laser scanning with my setup,
okay.
and I'm still so pissed that my damn computer's busted. God
Yeah,
Almighty. But yeah, that like you and I have to play with that thing at some point really soon.
What do you need to host for the laser scanner? Is it its own program?
It's JM Studio that is the program that builds takes the cloud data and all that stuff and puts it together. And I can do it mobile on my device because I think it has some cloud processing with it, so I don't have to do all of that locally.
Yeah.
And then the desktop application does that all locally because it's a desktop computer.
It's the ho-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it's the
a big old computer. So that's definitely something I've wanted to play with. It's just I don't have the resources to really mess with that. Like I don't even know what software would be used to like put together the digital environment for that right now. Like I'm so far behind on that particular like avenue of.
That's one of those. I feel like if you have that laser scanner, so
Yeah.
you should be able to map.
I mean, I can take
your room.
Yeah, I can take the data.
Yeah.
And it took me a while.
Oh, you're just talking about something crunching through the data.
Yeah. Like
Every time someone has a VR and they don't know how to use it, they always end up breaking their TV somehow.
Well, yeah, when you're too far or too close to the TV and you swing and play the controller and you punch your TV screen.
It's like the Wii. And people play.
Oh yeah, it's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah, those are some good videos. Watch it, man.
Oh yeah.
Watching grandma go through the TV.
Yeah, John, that rolls. Be careful.
Yeah.
That's like I haven't done any like hardcore like mouse and keyboard 3D modeling since like 2016, so I'm a little behind on that particular bit of software. But the JM Studio for the scanner that I've got works really, really well, and I sort of knew, but I guess I didn't pay as much attention to it as I should have, that this is a medium format scanner and not like a small format scanner.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there putting stuff on my turntable being like, why is this not blah, 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 getting a little frustrated because it wasn't performing as I hoped it would. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that all the stuff I was putting on the turntable was like 3 times too small. Yeah. And then the turntable itself is just like too small to put the medium format things on the turntable. So I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, you got to know what your model, like what it's actually, what its target distance is.
Yeah, the target distance and just, generally what size objects they're engineered to look at. And this one is engineered to look at things perhaps the size of this chair or like, a quarter of a car.
It wants to read the room. It doesn't want to read small objects.
Yeah, so it's like if I'm scanning D&D minis, it's having a hard time.
You can probably rein that in, though. That's
probably.
That's something you can look at. Just dropping how much power and what it's focusing on.
Well,
you probably have a focal point that can be honed in. We'll have to look at
maybe. And when my computer decides to cooperate again, or I get the right parts for it, we can have that conversation.
I'm sure Mac could host it if need be.
Let's go to your computer.
I think my M.2 drive is dead.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but they're not terribly expensive. $130 or whatever for a 2 terabyte M.2 drive, which was nice. But yeah, I'm just frustrated because this is the first computer I've ever spent legit money on in my life, and then I have it for 3 months. And it's like, you know what? Psh, nah. And I just came home one day from being out of town for the weekend, try to turn the thing on, and it's just like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna do it. And I'm just like, well, okay, I'm gonna go cry. And I did.
Oh. Yeah,
I did.
experienced that with that MacBook because I bought it refurbished, but whoever refurbished it didn't put in a solid state hard drive.
Right.
So any kind of jitter was just chewing up the hard drive.
Oh no.
Yeah. So at some point it just died. I ended up having to swap it out and stuff. Put in a solid. It was pretty stupid, but at the same time, I mean, it was souped up enough. It's like I can't just throw this thing away.
Right. And
that was everything I need so far.
Yeah. I was more frustrated, and also like the thing about that is I don't know shit about building computers, so like this is the whole deal of this has been a learning experience, which I'm grateful for, but I'm not like, damn it, why do I have to do this? Not that I shouldn't learn, it's just that it was frustrating on the timing and resources I need to make this repair. That's pretty much the crutch of it all. Adam, the computer you gave me though, it's right here and it works just fine still.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but when you said broken computer, I was like, uh-oh.
No, this one is currently the thing I'm editing all the podcast on. So I greatly appreciate your donation on that front. One day I'll get the big one fixed and I can do this in a third of the time again. Yeah. But right now it's definitely it's doing the job. Well, gentlemen, it seems this is the natural lull in conversation where I generally end these conversations. If we can go around the room and final out our intro, outro informations, that'd be really cool. Are you goofing off on the stairs again like I told you not to?
Uh-oh.
Hey, are those stairs toys?
No.
Okay. I want you to know that me reprimanding you is on record now, and
the whole world knows.
Yeah, the whole world knows. I'm gonna put this on the internet, and the whole world's gonna think you're in trouble.
Just go with. Oh, this is Adam talking, by the way. Just go with AdamRowe.com because I wanted to say this before she left, but there is this comedian apparently in the UK with my name.
Your name. What did he do with your name? Is he older than you?
I guess
You're gonna have to fight him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look him up
You're gonna have to fight him.
because I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I've seen little previews. Does not seem like my thing, but I've got the website name. So who's real? Who's real now?
Yeah.
There's a psychic in the UK with my name.
Oh,
So I should
nice.
register the domain before he does. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. You don't fight that person.
Yeah, he'll sense it.
Don't fight that person.
If I try to register, he'll sense it.
We didn't.
Wake up in the middle of the night. Oh God, I gotta build this website.
So yeah, just look me up that way.
All right, that'll work. AdamRowe.com. No hyphens, just straight lowercase text all the way
Yeah,
across.
because there's yet another Adam Rowe. His website.
What a dick.
Yeah, just Adam Rowe, ADAMROWE.com. So that's the simplest. Yeah, and that's me.
You,
Yeah.
not the comedian, not that other asshole. You.
Well, no, they're great. Actually, no.
Don't want to be associated with me.
I've contacted a few of them. There's many.
A few of them.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will have to admit that on that front, there are Thomas Zacharys out there.
Yeah. So,
And one of them is a fairly well-to-do author, and he's given me no money whatsoever, and I'm a little sour about it.
what kind of stuff's he writing?
I think fiction stuff.
Adult-
I haven't looked that far into it. I just know he's out there doing something with my name.
This was adult romance.
Oh God, please. People come up to me one day. I didn't know you wrote smut. And it's like, why were you looking at my phone? Give me my phone back. Get out of there. Yeah, it's not for you. Get out of there. That microphone's not on. John, where can the fine folks find you on the internet?
Mainly post on Instagram, Starkey, STRKEY_art.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Derek, you
Oh
want
yeah, Drink and Draw. If you look up
Oh,
Drink
yeah.
and Draw on the Meetup app, you can find it. Like we do something every couple weeks. Next one's South Coast, a week from Sunday.
Do you have a Facebook presence for the Drink and Draw?
We do, yeah. They're on
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram too. So if you look for Knoxville Drink and Draw, you can find it.
All right, sweet. Derek, you want to put your creative stuff out there?
Yeah, I have an Instagram, but it's not been looked at.
But there's plenty of previous works
plenty of stuff
cataloged
to
on there
look at.
for people to enjoy.
Just if you reach out to buy something, there will probably not be an answer. But it's Ruck Dead Up at Ruck Dead Up. So,
I love that so much.
there's a YouTube too, but it's same way. There's no one home.
Like if you really want to buy this man's art, you got to catch him around town, like grab him by the elbow and be like, "Hey, sell me shit." Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Signals.
Smoke signals. That's a very effective way to get a hold of me as well.
Bottle,
Yeah.
just throw it in Tennessee. I'll get it at some point.
It'll surface up by the old
Always
treatment
goes,
plant.
yeah.
All right, everybody. I am Thomas Zachary. You can find me on the internet at TTW Artworks. I make hyper colorful, somewhat geometric, surrealist and visionary art. I hardly ever use that word. I don't know why I said it right now. Psychedelia. That's more what I get into. You can find me on TTW_artworks on Instagram. There is the Twisted Wrist page on Facebook, which is what TTW stands for. There's also a TTW Artworks group that is a private group you can request to join, and that is the easiest way outside of Instagram to catch me. Can you say something?
After you're done.
Of course. And if you want to join the group, there are details about the events I do. The event series I've been kicking around lately is called Cushion Canvas. I've teamed up with the Holistic Connection down on Gay Street to host guided paint sessions for stoners, and it's been a lot of fun. The next event is going to be on, well, I guess it doesn't matter because I don't know when I'm going to publish this episode yet. This episode is probably going to come out in December. What is today's date? Today is October the 14th. October the 14th. That's when this was recorded. It will probably be released sometime in December, so all of you in the future, this is us from the past. I promise everything is not okay. But until then, whatever. Elliot, what you got to say, brother?
With you.
Yeah, always have your towel. If you're a good hitchhiker, have your towel. What do you say?
Just a kid.
You're just a kid? Elliot is my 8-year-old son. I'm super happy to be his father, and I'm super happy he took the time and energy to be involved in this conversation. Thank you very much, son. I greatly appreciate it. Also, everyone, this has been episode 69 of the KAAMP. That is the Orgycast, the one and only. You can listen to this stuff wherever you're currently listening to this stuff, Spotify, Google, whatever the hell, the normal places. If you wish to support the show, please share the show amongst your friends. Listen to other episodes. There's getting to be quite a back catalog now. All the gentlemen surrounding me have been on previous episodes, and they have good conversations for you to listen to at your leisure. So please go listen, share it with your friends, tell people about it. You could just also not tell people about it and then just make them listen to it when you have them captive in your car. That'd be great. I would love that. Just shove it in their ear holes, shove it in your ear holes. Don't ask consent. All the normal stuff you do to your friends. Everybody, thanks for listening. Y'all have a good night. Elliot, will you hit the big red flashy button? Well, it's not flashy, but it's red. No, that one. Yeah, hit it. Press it down. Yeah.